If you want to get rich, one of the first things you need to change is the way you think about money. Your mindset can make all the difference. Let's take a simple example: the way people look at wealth. Imagine two items, a gold Rolex watch and a silver coin. While many would opt for the paper money, the truth is, real wealth often lies in assets that hold their value, such as gold. This is a mindset shift that can transform your financial future. It's not just about money, it's about understanding the value of assets versus liabilities, and how your thinking can either build or limit your wealth. Bad money versus real money. A key point to understand is the difference between what I like to call bad money and real money. And bad money is what most of us use on a daily basis, paper currency. Its value decreases over time due to inflation. On the other hand, real money refers to things like gold and silver, which retain or increase in value, especially when inflation is high. When governments print more money, like they have been doing for decades, it can devalue the currency. This creates a wealth gap where the rich get richer because they own assets that increase in value, while the middle class and poor are left behind, watching the cost of everyday goods rise. The rich buy assets, the poor buy liabilities. Now let's talk about how the rich use money differently. The wealthy understand that debt can be an asset if used wisely. They leverage debt to buy things like real estate, stocks, or gold, assets that increase in value over time. The poor, on the other hand, tend to use debt for consumption, buying things that lose value as soon as they're purchased. For example, many people buy cars or other depreciating items with credit. While these things might feel like an accomplishment, they don't create lasting wealth. Real estate and precious metals, however, can help build long-term wealth. Why mindfulness matters in your financial journey. Mindfulness isn't just about being present in the moment, it's about being aware of how you make financial decisions. Are you making decisions based on what's cheap and convenient, or are you focusing on long-term value? The wealthy often think ahead. They don't buy the most fashionable item just because it's cheap. Instead, they invest in things that will grow in value, even if they require a bigger upfront investment. This kind of thinking helps them accumulate wealth over time. The poor often focus on immediate gratification, opting for lower-cost items that don't hold long-term value. Long-term thinking, the key to building wealth. One of the major differences between the wealthy and the poor is the time horizon of their decisions. The rich focus on long-term gains, while the poor often focus on short-term survival. The rich understand that true wealth isn't built overnight, and they're willing to make sacrifices today for greater financial security tomorrow. For example, when inflation drives up the cost of living, the rich buy more assets like real estate, oil, or gold, knowing that these things will appreciate in value. Meanwhile, the poor find themselves struggling to pay for essentials like food and gas as the cost of these goods rises with inflation. Mindful spending, shifting your financial focus. Being mindful of how you spend your money is crucial. Instead of focusing on cheap, temporary things, it's important to think about purchases that will either appreciate in value or help you generate more income. Buying assets that grow in value, like gold, real estate, or even stocks, is far more beneficial than buying liabilities that drain your finances. Take the example of luxury handbags or expensive shoes. While these items may give a temporary boost in status, they don't offer long-term value. On the other hand, buying items that increase in value, such as real estate or gold, creates lasting wealth. Conclusion: the path to financial freedom. The path to financial freedom is about understanding how money works, and more importantly, understanding how to make your money work for you. Shifting your mindset and focusing on long-term investments rather than short-term indulgence is key. In conclusion, it's not about depriving yourself of life's pleasures, but about making smarter choices with your money. When you stop thinking like a poor person and start thinking like the wealthy, investing in appreciating assets and long-term security, you set yourself up for financial success. Key takeaways. 1. Mindset is key. Shift your thinking from short-term gains to long-term investments. 2. Bad money versus real money. Understand the difference between currency that loses value and assets that grow in value over time. 3. Assets over liabilities. The wealthy use debt to acquire assets that appreciate, while the poor use debt for consumption. 4. Mindful spending. Be aware of how you spend money. Invest in assets that grow in value. 5. Think long-term. Focus on building wealth through long-term investments rather than seeking immediate gratification. Remember, wealth is not just about having money. It's about having the right mindset to make smart decisions. Invest in real assets and build wealth over time.